Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Monday, August 12th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Akron game in 19 days. Yes, we are down into the teens now. The game against Michigan in 110 days. This is an Ohio State season that has Ohio State fans about as excited as I can remember them being for any individual season over the last few years. A lot of times, the season where everyone's coming back and everyone is thinking definitely national championship caliber team. Those have, in a couple times in the past, been the season after the Buckeyes won a national championship. So everyone's still a little happy and satisfied. This year, that is not the case. They're coming off a year where they lost to Michigan, did not win the Big Ten, lost the bowl game. So it is a very hungry fan base. It is a very hungry team as well. So that has contributed to some of that hype and that anticipation. Something that also has contributed to it is there is a true freshman on this year's team who has really captured the imagination of the fan base before even stepping on the field for a game in a regular season game for the Buckeyes. That this year is Jeremiah Smith. And the hype around him, there have not been very many true freshmen who have been hyped up at this level. Just going back to the years I was thinking through before I hit record. Andy Katzenmoyer in 1996 was kind of like this, and he ended up being a true freshman starter at middle linebacker for the Buckeyes. Ted Ginn in 2004, everyone had heard the fastest player anyone had ever seen. There's a lot of hype around him, a lot of excitement around him. He obviously was a difference maker in that 2004 team. Darrell Pryor, 2008, another guy who was sort of in that mix, number one player in the country, and just incredibly hyped and was on the field very early, won the starting quarterback job just a couple games into that season. So, this is not a completely unprecedented thing, but it has been a minute since there's been a true freshman that has really captured the imagination of the Ohio State fan base, quite like Jeremiah Smith has. So today we're going to do a show just about Jeremiah Smith and just with Jeremiah Smith. We got a chance to talk to him on Friday last week. Really the first time we've gotten a chance to sit down and have an extended conversation with him, hear directly from him on a bunch of different things. So on today's show, we're going to let you hear directly from him. I call this something like 12 things to know about Jeremiah Smith or 12 things we just learned about Jeremiah Smith, something like that. And I'm going to let you hear directly from Jeremiah Smith on every single one of them. Let's start with this one. What has his approach been coming into fall camp this year?
Camp been going very well for me right now. I'm still learning, just a freshman. So, just coming there as a young guy, just listening to the older guys that been here, that been through camp, and just listening to Coach Hartline. You got Emeka, Tate, Brandon Ennis, Kojo, Jalen Ballard, the guys who've been here. So, just listening to them guys, they just put me in the right direction to succeed.
There has been a concerted effort around the program to sort of tamp down expectations, tamp down the hype around Jeremiah Smith, even as people are sort of seeing him do things on the field that are just not quite normal. And so what is it like for him to be getting this much attention before he's even stepped on the field in a real game? You're going to hear his answer on that, and you're going to hear a quick follow-up from Dan Hope of 11 Warriors.
It's a blessing, but you don't want that hype to, affect you and all this other stuff that's going around me. I just keep my head down, just find ways to get better each and every day.
Is it easy to block out that noise?
Oh yeah, it's very easy. I just don't be on social media that much. Just don't look at Twitter and all that other stuff. So that's easy for me.
The last couple of years have been pretty crazy for Jeremiah Smith. His recruitment turned into a little bit of a circus. Not necessarily through any fault of his own, just through the excitement and hype and a whole lot of fan bases hoping he would end up coming to play for their team. But when was it that his football career really did start to get a little crazier in his life and on the field?
After my sophomore year of high school, that's when things started getting real crazy. Just how I was playing in high school and the attention that I was getting, and it just got crazy my senior year. I just had Ohio State fans coming to my game, and I was like, whoa. I never had that happen. No other school, just Ohio State fans came to my game. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
There are a number of things that set Jeremiah Smith apart from a lot of other football players. The athleticism certainly one. The drive, certainly another. Just his competitive nature is another one. So when did he get so competitive? You're going to hear his answer on that. And then a quick follow-up from Tim May of Letterman Row.
Oh, I've been had that in me since I was 8, 9 years old. It happens, just how I am, how I was raised, just to be a competitor. That's the reason why I chose to come to Ohio State just to compete each and every day, gets to go against the best DB group in the country.
That's what I wanted to say. Has it been enhanced the last several months? I mean, going against Igbinosun and Denzel Burke, et cetera.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just going against them two guys, the best two DBs in the country. I mean, that's the reason I came here. Just going against guys just going to make me better each and every day.
We got a chance to watch another Jeremiah Smith moment during practice last week. There was a pass, a fade to him in the end zone. Davison Igbinosun broke the pass up right in front of Tony Gerderman and me. Had some words to say to Jeremiah Smith about that. Made sure he knew, hey, good news, the pass was not completed, so I did my job. That's great. Jeremiah Smith didn't really respond, but later in practice, down the other side of the field, he caught a long one on Davison Igbinosun. So we didn't get a chance to hear, obviously, his response on that one. So how did those conversations go?
I did. I said, well, he said, when he deflected the ball, he said, I'm here. I said, okay, I'm going to be back. And that's something be back. Then when I made a play, I just walked off. That's it.
When you caught the ball,
yeah.
what did you say to him?
I said, I told you I'm coming back, right? Yeah.
There is a long tradition of players in the Ohio State wide receiver room sort of passing down the lessons they've learned, passing down the expectations, what it means to be someone in that Zone 6 unit. And you got the Michael Thomases and the Evan Spencers, and then that goes to the Paris Campbells and Terry McLaurins and Johnny Dixons, and then that goes to the Chris Olaves and the Garrett Wilsons, and then the Jackson Smith-Jigba, and then the Marvin Harrison, and then now on to some of the current players on the team. It just sort of all the knowledge gets sort of passed down from the veterans to the younger guys. So Jeremiah Smith was asked, what has he learned from someone like Carnell Tate?
Oh, I learned a lot, especially from Carnell, because we both play outside. So, just learning from him and, the things he learned, he just teaching me. And, he was behind Marv and stuff like that. So, he's just teaching me the game for sure.
Jeremiah Smith came to Ohio State hyped as not only an elite physical receiver, but also someone whose game was pretty much ready for that next level, ready for that college level from the moment he stepped onto campus. But still, he obviously has been working hard to improve his game since he got to Ohio State. So what's an area where he's improved his game over the last month or two?
I'd say my footwork. That's the biggest thing me and Coach Hartline was looking at. That's one thing I need to get better on. So, I just worked on that in the offseason and just got better over time.
Coming from South Florida, Jeremiah Smith has had a lot of role models in that community, that South Florida football community to sort of follow. So who are some of the guys who's he's looked to sort of follow their example as he's kind of come along as a football player?
He set a big example. I ain't gonna say it was only just my dad. It was me. I have a cousin named Geno Smith. He played for the Seattle Seahawks, so I looked up to him as well. Seeing what he was doing at West Virginia with Tavon Austin and Stedman Bailey. So he was a motivation for me, and just older guys that grew up before me in Miami Gardens area, Broward area for sure. Just looking up to those guys like I say Brendan Ennis for sure. He was a class ahead of me, so I seen the things he was doing in the 8th grade, and I was just like, whoa. That's something I want to do.
Mentioned earlier, and the Buckeyes have talked about this pretty openly. Ryan Day talked about it when I talked to him at Big Ten Media Days. They are really trying to keep the expectations as realistic as possible for Jeremiah Smith right now. So how is he dealing with those? How is he dealing with knowing that the expectations are what they are among the fan base and even probably among some teammates, if we're going to be honest? And is that something he's trying to live up to?
I really don't. I know it's big expectations for me because, number one player in the country coming in and all the hype around me. So, I just try to block out all that stuff and just focus on the main things, just the team and our receiver room and the locker room. And, just first game come, if I don't, see the expectation that y'all have for me, I don't really care. I just want to go out there and win a game. That's it.
Mentioned earlier the long lineage of Ohio State wide receivers, and some of those guys have weighed in, having seen Jeremiah Smith already, and weighed in on where he could be in the Ohio State pecking order. Guys like Chris Carter, Marvin Harrison Jr., saying who could be maybe the next great wide receiver at Ohio State. What does that mean to Jeremiah Smith?
It's something great. I just got to go out there on the field and just show you guys that I could be the next, probably the great Ohio State receiver to come through here. So, it's a blessing, have that, but I just got to go out there and play and show you guys. One
of the things that has set Jeremiah Smith apart since basically day one at Ohio State is he seems to win more than his fair share of 50-50 balls. I mean, they're called 50-50 balls because you would think the wide receiver is going to win about 50% of them. The defensive back is going to win about 50% of them. Well, kind of when Jeremiah Smith's going up there against a DB one-on-one, a lot of those 50-50 balls turn into more like 70-30 balls, 75-25 balls. How is that possible? How does he win more than his fair share of those? You're going to hear his answer on that. And then another follow-up from our good buddy Tim May of Letterman Row.
When I see a 50-50 ball, I mean, I just think I got to make the play, and it's on me. It don't matter how the ball is. If it's a bad ball, I just feel like I got to make that play. It don't matter what the circumstances is. It don't matter if it's a bad ball. I feel like the ball is mine. No matter who in front of me or no, it don't matter.
Where'd that knack of getting between the ball and the defender come from, though? I mean, that kind of sets you apart, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. Have you always had that knack?
Oh, yeah, I did. Always had that knack since I started playing receiver at like 8 or 9 years old. I just found a way to, make sure that ball is mine when it's in the air. And I just got to always find a way to make my quarterback look good.
Well, he talked there at the end about trying to make a quarterback look good. So Will Howard might be the quarterback he is going to make look good this fall. So what has Jeremiah Smith seen from Will Howard so far in fall camp?
Oh, yeah, for sure. He definitely made a big jump from in the spring. I like his confidence. He's starting to talk a lot of mess on the field. And I like that about my quarterback. I love quarterbacks who like to talk and, just get around his players and make them feel good about themselves.
When does he talk?
He talk on the field. He just say a lot of stuff I can't say, but he go talk for sure.
The Buckeyes will be back on the practice field this week for week 3 of fall camp. Second full week, with the third week overall, as they count down the days to the first game of the season against Akron. Under 20 days, as we told you off the top of the show. It is getting close. Less than 3 weeks away from the first Ohio State football game of the season. Less than 2 weeks away from the week 0 games. College football almost here. It is a very exciting time in Columbus, Ohio. It is a very exciting time to be a member of BuckeyeHuddle.com. That's where Tony, Kevin, and I cover the team. Mark covers recruiting. Got our whole team of X's and O's gurus there to make you a smarter football fan. It's all at BuckeyeHuddle.com. And of course, also, you can find us at YouTube.com/BuckeyeHuddle. Have lots of content coming for you there. We'll have plenty more interviews and live shows coming up for you this week. There's going to be a lot to talk about as the Buckeyes count down the days till the start of the 2024 football season. I can't wait. I'm guessing you can't either. Make sure you join us at BuckeyeHuddle.com and YouTube.com/BuckeyeHuddle. I promise it'll make that countdown to the season go just a little bit quicker. That'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.